that block across from VMAC, or now the end of Blackstone, I don't know why that's zoned R2. R1 is sink or sank and should be really,
It is not. That block across from Jenny Bunny is not zoned R2.
it's not R2. Well, you told me it was, I thought.
No, it's zoned public open space. Louis DeNito had approached about putting some townhouses there,
Right.
and he would have to request an R2.
You know what I'm talking about though is where, so in other words, where Jenny Davis Bunn and Dr. Bradshaw live, that's R1?
No. Where they live is R2.
There's no reason that to be R2. That should be R1. That's single family homes. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, I don't know what, I mean,
It's just like the 2 blocks down, yeah.
but it's important to everybody in the audience and the people know what your land is zoned is very important.
Because it could be what moves in next to you.
Correct. And I think a lot of people, no one ever realized it until all of a sudden it's too late.
Zoning's more valuable than water and sewer.
All right, let's
and
move right along. I
utilities.
didn't mean to belabor that. Street improvements, I think we've taken care of. You've got the striping done on.
Two additional outstanding meals tax. How far out are these meals taxes? How far out of the meals tax, the 2 additional that are outstanding?
One is 4 months.
Still in business?
No.
Okay.
Well, I've been told no. I don't think so. I haven't seen them in business physically when I've been down there,
Okay.
so I don't think they are, and they are in collection with tax, the new collection attorney we're using, and the other one's just 1 month behind.
Okay.
And she could have paid today, but I'm not sure.
All right.
And before we move on real quick, I don't know if you all have ever met Ashley Seamster.
I have.
But
And
she is our budget billing clerk, and she's the one that handles the utilities and
We
stuff
don't
like
call that
So-
anymore. We don't
So-
have
I'm sorry, not budget billing, I'm sorry. Utility billing clerk, is that right? Utility billing clerk. I don't know if y'all met her or not, but she does the utility bills and stuff, so I just thought it'd be nice to put a face.
Very nice. Very nice. Thanks for everything y'all all do. We definitely appreciate it. On North Main Street, just waiting on the parking space striping. Has that been done? The one block they
been
missed?
done. No, he knows to do it, and when I spoke to him about the speed bumps, I thought maybe we would get a date, but we do not have a
They've been paid
specific
in
date.
full?
Pardon?
They've been paid in full?
They have not.
No.
All right. Nothing on Wigglesworth. The field looks good. East End.
We're expecting bid documents, and I'm asking authorization to seek bids for the curb and gutter. You've already bid out and received bids and authorized the paving portion of it for next year. But I will have a set of plans, I hope, before I go to eat turkey on Thursday. We'll have a set of plans. If not, it'll be early
You've heard the
next week.
town manager's motion. Would you, he wants authorization to seek bids?
So moved.
Mr. Miller has moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made by, made and second by Ms. Jones. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Moving on to Taylor Bottom, informational. The block
Information.
grant possibilities.
And the PER is done. Ooh, the water and sewer replacement was quite expensive. So we're gonna have to make some decisions at some point, but water and sewer replacement and that neighborhood could be pushing almost $5 million.
So this could be as big as East End grant.
The utilities would be more, yeah,
Really?
more length, more distance,
More area and less homes.
and fewer homes.
It's less density there.
Our hope is there'll be more homes by what we're trying to accomplish
Right.
and what the goals of the town. But as it stands right now, those numbers were ugly. They were pushing $5 million. So maybe it's not water and sewer. Maybe it's just water, more of a health related, and maybe it's some curb and gutter and things.
Their
Maybe
curb
we
and
just
gutter
drop
would be
that.
really appreciated down there. And I'd say that'd probably be a nice place to put some speed bumps too. Based on people I talked to down there.
I'm
we had some
I'm
come in
getting
here
ready
when
to
the
speed
speed bump.
bumps on Broad in Tavern. I just got, I'm
gonna
talking
be-
to the neighbors.
I just
now.
tell folks, send me an email because
Welcome
you're
to
going to have them
Bumpstone.
everywhere
We're
in
gonna change
town.
the name down to Bumpstone.
Bumpstone is right.
All right, moving right along to the Armory. Oh,
Asbestos bids will be presented to you, we expect in December. I think at 2 o'clock tomorrow, Chastity and I are gonna have a conversation with the architects. And Chastity may not know this, but I've asked Francis Gilmore to join us about the windows. We have the asbestos in the windows. So, underground storage tank is out to bid as well. And we hope to get both of those to you in the December meeting. We await response from the Department of Housing and Community Development for an IRF grant and Industrial Revitalization Fund grant, and the Tobacco Commission, who sent us some questions and some things. We're asking for as much as $1 million from DHCD and $581,000 from the Tobacco Commission. Finally, would like authorization to submit a Rural Business Enterprise grant to the Department of Agriculture in the amount of $250,000. This grant, if approved, would fund kitchen equipment and technology improvements. We hadn't thought about who's gonna buy the napkins and tables and chairs and computer screens and all that, and that's what we're asking the Department of Agriculture for those items.
He wants authorization to, do you want a council vote on that?
Yes, with no additional,
Mr. Nash has moved, Mr. Miller is seconded to authorize him to seek a rural business enterprise grant to USDA, $250,000. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Would there be local match of that?
no additional match.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
mean, we're already putting gracious plenty in.
Weatherization.
916 Fall Street is demolished and it is under roof. I went by there about 30 minutes before the meeting and it has, trusses are on. I'm requesting authorization to solicit bids for the renovations of a single-family home on Patterson Street. I think Mr. Miller is aware of that one. I've been on the list. And it was the same property where that big tree was, where we got those bids for $16,000
So what did we decide to do about the tree?
Well, I could not.
Rejected the bid was $11,000.
Rejected the bid. Now, I have received from the one bidder, and I modified, I said, Ryan, tell me what it would cost to cut that one tree down and not grind the stump. And he came back and gave me an estimate of $7,500. Personally, I think I gotta rebid it, because you rejected the bids.
How about
So-
just trimming, can you just do some trimming?
That's a massive
That's
tree.
Okay, it needs to
tree,
go.
I'm telling you,
Okay.
it's on a stamp
Okay.
somewhere. So,
So you want
I
to,
think we
probably
need to rebid it. Yep. And, but I am asking authorization to seek bids for renovations to a single-family home, and this is the home that would be renovated with the county's $50,000 contribution.
all right.
You ain't spending no money.
You,
$50,000.
entertain a
That's
motion to that
county
effect. I'd entertain a motion for the town manager to seek bids on that.
That's county money, that $50,000.
That's in your ward. You want to make a motion on that?
Yeah, I'm so moved.
Is there a second? This is just to seek bids to renovate the single-family home on Patterson Street using the county's weatherization money.
Second.
Mr. Nash is second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. This third bullet I'm interested in, is this the home we talked about on South Main Street?
Here's the deal, I don't know of a grant out there that we can apply for one single home.
This is the home that the tree fell on 2.5 years ago.
And it is pressing blighted.
Yes.
It has been declared blighted. I think we have a problem because it's occupied. The other ones have been pretty easy, because nobody lives in them. This one got a family living in it. And we've been unsuccessful in getting those property owners to do anything. I think the gentleman's daughter attended a meeting a couple months ago, and I think the instructions were, Mr. Van Orr, be creative and see if there's something out there. So what I'm suggesting is that we go to Nottaway County, and they're still sitting on an appreciable amount of money that we call weatherization money. But what it is really program income from previous projects, where property owners paid the money in, but the county never took that money. We keep ours literally at zero, because as soon as we get enough in there, we spend it, and we build a house or
It was
renovate a house.
about 20 years ago, the county did a housing grant on Chute Road up near Brookville.
I think that's it.
And they finished it, everybody paid the county, and instead of like we do, we kind of rolled over another program, the county just said, okay, mission accomplished, and they've got the money sitting there.
And I'd like to approach the county and ask them for additional monies up to $100,000 to build a new home in that location.
And y'all will recall that the young lady who came before us, and they're in desperate situations, I ran the scenario by her. I said, you know, one of the things that may happen is your childhood home could be demolished, and a much more modest home could be rebuilt. And she did, if y'all recall, she was fine with that.
And I don't think renovating that old home, because I've never been inside, but I dare say it's in pretty tough condition, and you'll probably spend as much renovating that house.
It's right there, you're going down Main Street,
Right up front,
coming from
across from
that,
Heritage.
before you get to Heritage Hall, right about the cross street.
And I would like authorization from council, but that's what I would use it for. Ask them for as much as $100,000 to do that project. I would assume it would be at no less than a 2-bedroom home, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know if a 3-bedroom, would just depend on how many people would be in the home. And then the county would actually be the recipient of the payments. And you wouldn't be using town funds.
This is
Do
one
we
of
do
the,
this for everybody else? Because, we don't, I thought in the last couple of meetings, we said that that house had an owner.
It's got an owner.
we know where the
Yeah,
owner is.
I mean, we know where the owner's at, so. If
They're
we're gonna do
living
this
in
for,
it.
are we gonna be doing this for everybody? I know somebody's living in it. The owner's is living in it,
It's children.
his children's are.
Is he still back? Is he still, is he's back?
He's home, his wife lives there, daughter and grandchild.
To answer your question, we do it all the time.
Do it all the time.
We just authorized to solicit bids for renovations to a home.
We probably do 15 homes this year.
We did Scott Street 5 years ago, 4 years, $65,000 house was at least
Which one?
Scott Street. We demolished a house and built somebody a brand new. I'm sorry, Stoke Street, Stoke Street.
Fall Street, we're doing one on Fall Street
I
right now.
mean, yeah.
Miss
So-
Mattie Neal, just so you know, Miss Mattie Neal's house, the late Mattie Neal, Nottaway County, her situation was so dire, they found some indoor plumbing money
Indoor plumbing rehab money.
and built that house for her. And she lived there, and she owned that house.
We'll probably do 15 homes this year, and we probably will, once we get into Taylor's Bottom, it's gonna slow down because we don't have a project area for a while. But when we get back into Taylor's Bottom, we'll pick up the pace again.
But your question is one that's rooted in fairness and very important, because anyone that's sitting out here watching will see that there are times we're reactionary, we're like a pinball. Well, we'll be very firm and dogmatic on one situation, and then we'll be compassionate and show a lot of mercy on another. And I'm not saying either is right or wrong.
That's what I'm feeling too.
Right.
Because I'm the new kid on the block. So that's why I'm asking these hard questions.
Ms.
I
Jones,
mean, I'm just asking the question.
Ms. Jones.
There's nothing wrong with it, but we have to be fair. Because I know Boogie Tucker, when I came on the town council, and that house of his was in poor condition. And all I heard about where he got drunks hanging up there and all that stuff, and we shouldn't have looked at it like that. So, I mean, if we're gonna do this, we can't just pick, okay, well, I want to do it for this person, and we're not gonna do it for all.
This would not be my first choice. This is about my 50th choice.
But I'm just saying,
The council reserves the right to declare the property blighted and take the property.
Yeah.
But you gotta evict the family.
but we don't want to do that. But I'm just saying,
But this is the one program I've seen that will work. This is the only way. Not town weatherization money, but this is county weatherization money. But I appreciate your comments
and I
about Boogie,
understand
and I
everything
understand.
that you're saying,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
I just know what I went back and forth with Boogie and rest his post, so
Yep.
he's gone. he's gone. And I mean, when I first got on this town council, we went back and forth and nothing happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So I mean, I just saying, we just need to make it fair
But we did
across
Jesse
the board.
Maddox's house in the meantime.
Oh, yeah.
And we did
Yeah.
Estelle Epps' house in the meantime, and Howard Miller's house in the meantime, and about 30 homes in East End, and Mr. Blunt's house that we're working on, and we do a lot.
Yes,
And-
and all that is good. I'm just saying, you know, and I know about everybody, know how Boogie Tucker house was looking, how it's looking now. It was about, I mean, the man really pretty much could not even live in the house. I mean, he was back and forth with his daughter.
There's a
And
lot
I
of folks
stayed
like
on
that.
top of that, and we just didn't do anything about it.
But
But
there's
I
a-
mean, what we doing is a good thing. I mean, don't get me wrong.
But in
I
all
mean,
fairness, to
it's
me
a
and
good
Zach,
thing.
we'd go to Boogie's house and he'd curse us and tell us to get the hell out of his house. I couldn't do anything with it, okay?
Okay, but we was working with his daughter.
I wasn't working with.
But there's a
I was
third
doing
dimension
something.
here also that we're not thinking about. Here's the thing that makes this so hard. And you raised a great point. Ms. Williams raised a great point. Then you've got to look at the adjoining property owners who are watching their property values decline. The people who come to Blackstone, they're like, oh, isn't this a great Main Street? Well, the other house needs work. There's that third layer. And believe me, the thought of, like I said, this is a guy that's got a $6,000 lien on his house for curb and gutter while people in Blackstone are getting curb and gutter free. It's just, I deal with it. I've been lucky to,
I mean, no offense to Mr. Miller, he's seen a lot of the good gracious of the town in housing rehab, so
Mr.
I
Miller
like
got
that it
lucky.
gets spread out a little
He
bit.
got lucky.
Right.
He did get lucky because.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
But this is almost like ditches though, where it's going to reach a point, as Mr. James said, we might want to have a list, because right now it's sort of like no rhyme or reason to it. We had so much,
Whoever comes up and asks.
someone comes and cries at the podium. Believe me, it's a very moving night. We know that the problems that family's been through, health wise and otherwise.
Honestly, I'm trying to follow the instructions of council. Come back to us with a plan, and this is the only plan I can.
You're
do.
right. You did what you were asked to
This
do.
is probably the last priority home in Black.
Yeah.
David, I'm sorry. If you go forward, there's liens on the home now.
6 liens.
Where are they gonna be where are the liens gonna be satisfied? You have to take the building down,
Well, that
satisfy
may-
the liens?
That may.
The
Not through
solution,
the town, it's through personal debt.
yeah, that are already on the property.
Didn't you say it was several? I thought you said there were 6.
I think there were 7 on the last one that we tore down.
The warehouse.
And it got sold at a tax sale, so the buyer got a special warranty deed with clean title.
Right.
And that may have to be the solution. There may have to be some sort of a special warranty deed issue that would eliminate the lien.
There's a lien on this current house we're talking about now,
Not from the town.
No,
not for the town.
Yeah.
Other people in line are ahead of the
Debtors.
There's people in
Other folks ahead
the
of us.
line. So if we were to do this, then the county's money would be in whatever position behind the existing.
These lenders would have to sign off of it
most definitely are. You most definitely are. Well, the town manager is seeking authorization to ask for weatherization funds from Nottaway County, to ask. That means you have to get, if he gets them,
If they
he'll
say
come,
no, then you
he'll
gotta
come
do
back
it.
and report to you. You have a second chance to deny it. What is council's pleasure?
I move that we grant the request. I'd rather see us put $100,000, it's not even ours, into a home for a family than private ditches, in my opinion.
I mean, you can also declare it blighted and
I-
put it to bed.
It's difficult.
I know, I get it, I'm not saying.
Let's see if there's a second to Mr. Nash's motion. Mr. Nash's motion is to grant the manager's request to ask for the funds. Is there a second?
Are we designating these funds if we ask for?
I think
Designated
he's
that.
asking for it to be used
Used
on the
on
home
that
in South Main
property.
Street.
Just
Yeah.
asking
Same
for
way with the
direction.
$50,000,
absolutely.
we requested.
How much does the county have? You said appreciable amount. How much does the county have up there roughly?
We got 50 of it, I think they probably have at 100 or a little less. So,
Okay.
but I put in there up to 100,000.
Up to 100,000. Is there a
Okay, I
second?
got a question.
Yes.
So do we have any other houses that was on the list before this house? I'm not saying that's not a good idea, but I'm just saying we
Probably
need
10, 12,
make it
15.
fair.
Absolutely, there's plenty of
to,
them.
yeah, I mean, that's all I'm saying, I mean.
But this one was declared blighted by council. That's what makes this one different. The council did go through the motion of declaring it blighted, which is a very strong statement. There's probably
This is not
50
our
other homes
priority.
that could be declared blighted.
But in order to resolve this matter, it's gonna take a legal action. You guys are gonna have to vote to do something, or this is a regular.
I don't know why we don't consider it a priority. It may not be number one on the list,
It's not, no, because we
but
kinda
the
go.
mayor mentioned himself, it's on our main street. Does the neighbor next door agree with living next to a house that looks like this?
That's a big issue.
Absolutely
Well, you
not.
listen to D and Dick Allenson and the subsequent owners,
So-
yeah, it's been horrible.
And
I'm
you're
not-
right,
It shouldn't be number 50 on the list, no. I
Boogie
think
Tucker
it's-
House was on Main Street too,
Which one was that?
Boogie Tucker House.
Which one was that?
You know where they throw
It
shoes
was
up there
right
in
over there
Division
by the
Street?
By the
store, by
store.
the, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
where Alfred used to live.
Gotcha, the one in the corner.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can think of to solve it. But you have a free solution, we can take that 100,000 and do something else with it.
But just a point of procedure here. Mr. Nash has made a motion. I haven't heard a second. Is there a second to Mr. Nash's motion?
So move.
All right, you've seconded the motion. And the motion is simply for the town manager to ask for up to $100,000 from the county's weatherization. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Moving right along, we're in new business, utility write-offs.
And Brittany just came up here and was telling me that they have done an exhaustive list and there are more deceased than they knew of, so they'd like to wait until next month. to
All right,
vote.
so we'll pass over new business number 1. New business number 2, we have an airport grant, $45,200 from the State Department of Aviation, and the town's local match is $11,300, and this is to improve lighting.
This is actually not the construction, this is design. Believe it or not, $56,000 for the design work.
We put a lot of.
It'd be nice lights.
Taxiway lighting and
Well, I doubt there's much lighting out there on the taxiways.
there's none right now.
That's what I was gonna say.
Absolutely none.
All right, we need a motion to approve this grant,
And execute the necessary document.
and it's gonna be a roll call because it's over 10,000.
So move.
Motion been made by Mr. Miller, is there a second?
Second.
I'll give the second to Ms. Jones. We'll have a roll call vote. Yes.
That's only the
Sorry.
fourth time.
Jake's second first, he made the motion long before, but, the town's local match, 11,300 is from
Fuel.
airport funds.
Airport
Okay.
fueling money,
Oh, jet fuel. Jet fuel.
jet fuel.
We'll have a roll call.
We need to sell
vote,
some.
Starting with Ms. Scott.
Aye.
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 Motion carries 6-0. You have your schedule of 2023 council meetings.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm falling behind down here.
This is new business number 3.
I'm gonna let the clerk handle these matters.
Okay.
So these are the ones we vote on every year. January, February are holidays. June, the newest holiday is
Juneteenth.
So that's why they're fourth Mondays, but these are the third Mondays of every month.
So we used to have a few differences because,
Shiloh Revival.
Shiloh
Shiloh Revival.
It's gone.
okay.
Yeah, we had 3 members of Shiloh, so we moved the meeting in August to the 4th Monday as
Move to
well.
approve is presented before us.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Miller, second. You see the schedule. All in favor, say aye.
And all of y'all upcoming, you see the schedule.
There it is.
And then, of course, we have this is what's called the Mr. Nash's favorite event, the holiday schedule. For this year, there is it more time?
Typically,
Yeah, it's-
last year was 14 days, I believe.
How much is this year? Yeah, it looks the same.
14. That's taking the 2 half days and adding the
What-
one.
which you and I both like that. Time with family. You
I
see,
didn't know there's such a thing as Yorktown Victory Day. That's a new one to me.
Oh,
Who is-
That's
It's
where it
Columbus
says
Day.
on-
Columbus
This is
Day,
the state.
Yorktown.
It's just,
Columbus Day.
This is
Yeah,
the
that's
state
all.
holiday, and that's what, I follow what the state does, cause that's what the county and everybody does, so that's what it says is Columbus Day and Yorktown Victory Day.
all right. You see the schedule before you. There's
this
nothing.
may be a. I hate the day after Christmas
In November.
that your family doesn't get off.
The day after Christmas.
I would prefer. Do we really need Columbus Day off? Can we take that and move it to after Christmas?
The Tuesday 26th.
Yeah.
But they're getting Friday. It's Friday a half day,
It's a
the
half
22nd.
day.
I think you're onto something there, Mr.
I
Nash.
take Columbus Day if it doesn't mean anything to anybody. Billy, the mayor said it already. I would much rather us be able to spend time with family, not us, our
I
employees.
gotta, do
Yorktown
we
Victory
need
Day really
election
means a
day
lot.
off?
Don't you? Well, you
Do
the
we need
precinct.
election day off?
Not anymore. You don't, because you used to be off. It made sense here
45
because you had
years ago, yeah.
precinct here and a precinct at the back of the police station.
Do we need election? And I will tell you that those 2 days in that week put us terrible behind the guards. I got
I'd be
complaints about
say
those.
take election day other than yeah. I agree.
Now, what happens with Christmas being a Monday and Mr. Nash's proposed new holiday, the 26th, being a Tuesday? Does that not also create some trash issues?
It's the same issue that we have this week. Really, I mean, because we're off half a day Wednesday, off Thursday,
2.5
off
days.
Friday.
2.5 days.
Same deal. Now, if we were getting off 3 and 4 days at a time, I mean, that's
I got more complaints about the election day, Veterans Day, and why that was.
I don't mind Veterans Day, but Columbus Day is sort of like I said. You want to make that in the form of motion? Just swap
Would
out?
y'all rather see Columbus? I agree with Philip, and it's a good point. I'd rather see Election Day go away and that go to after Christmas, because it does create an issue with 2 holidays in 1 week.
and plus the kids go to school on the election day too.
Um,
No,
The schools are closed election
Schools are
day.
closed.
Schools are closed election day. Public schools are.
I'm not trying to throw a bee at anybody's bonnet, because I love family also. But then you're gonna have the residents complaining the day after Christmas, which is Tuesday. With that Tuesday coming up, all our trash is overflowing. Then we're gonna have all of those complaints coming into us. I'm all for family. I love that. But then you gotta think about the big picture. All the residents are gonna be.
I live with the
fussing.
route. I live with the Route 46 dumpster during Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's just like you throw 5 people in my house. It's just like I'm just constantly going to the dumpster. Well, so what is the proposal? You have 3 options. You can adopt the calendar as it is. You can swap Election Day for December 26th, or you could swap Columbus Day.
Jake's looking at something.
Well, how about Columbus Day, since the kids is out of school? Then
Go ahead. You're saying
Yeah, I was thinking about Columbus Day and leave Election Day because the kids is out of school, you know.
yeah. And plus, here's another good point. You're going to have 2 holidays that week: Veterans Day and Election Day. So, well, that's true.
Are schools closed on Juneteenth?
Schools are out by then.
They
Oh,
are.
that's right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
summertime.
Yeah, but
So-
all the kids is.
So Mr. Jones is saying eliminate Columbus Day, because she is right. Schools are closed on. That's a big deal for a lot of parents.
Yeah,
School being open is a booger. Yeah, absolutely. Trying to
yeah, so why
find
not
something to do with
swap
kids while you're off or.
Columbus Day with, I mean, y'all
It,
want to
it,
do that
it
day.
accomplishes what I would like to see. And I understand the trash issue, but trust me, whether they're open or closed, it's going to be an issue. I can promise you.
And you know, I was thinking we might have to revitalize this trash pickup, for the days like this. We might have to revise the schedule.
Well,
Because like you say, I know Philip is getting all kind of calls. and-
our trash guys are good. I mean, the deal when I believe it was Veterans Day, they were off, but Saturday they were out dumping dumpsters. So if people want to dump trash, they can go to a municipal dumpster and it's being dumped.
Yeah. So what's your pleasure, members of council? We've crawled along here.
I move that we approve the calendar as presented with the exception of Columbus Day, Yorktown Victory Day being moved to the Tuesday, December 26th.
All right. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Mr. Allman is seconded. Any further discussion? We basically,
I'm gonna make sure that, because all the employees will be calling me tomorrow.
yes. Columbus Day will be a work day for the town of Blackstone.
Can we review and make sure election day is an illegal implication for us?
Well, we're leaving that.
We're leaving that alone.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Because we're
right.
doing
Can I say something before I know it's
Sure.
been approved?
Sure.
Why we making this big decision? Why don't we ask the employees? They're the ones that are working. Ask them.
I
'Cause
can
we-
tell you, they're the ones that say I want off the day after.
But I still say ask them, and that way you can have a consensus versus us saying what they're gonna do, what day they want. Since
Can we adopt it
since
next
we
week?
playing with
Well,
days.
this is what, you know, is presented, and
Right.
this is what, I will present to them, but if people want off the day after Christmas, they could take a vacation day, or they could do whatever,
We-
or,
True.
I mean, or do what you're saying, I mean, I don't know.
These are in addition to, I
They
mean,
just asked me what is adopted, that's
Right.
all that they
Yeah.
asked me.
do you want to delay and adopt it next month? Have department heads say, just poll the department heads?
Based on Carolyn's request, we've got a staff Christmas luncheon here coming up.
Just say department heads, what
Ask
say
them
you?
then,
Put your
yeah.
name in a hat. Do you want Columbus Day or the day after Christmas? Get
And
it-
tell them the reason why, and ask them, instead of
Yeah.
us making a decision
Well,
on that.
I'll get the department heads to ask and
Yeah.
get it, and we'll vote on it next month.
That's okay, Mr. Nash, okay?
Sure.
I mean,
Is that?
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
all right, moving right along, we have our annual, which we do by ordinance, we do it properly. You have the proposed bonuses at Christmas for the town employees. What is it, full-time, get 200 each? No, more. What is the amount? It's
Full part-time,
200 to full-time
Yes, 200.
employees, 100 to part-time, $50 to the firemen, and 25 to the junior firefighters. And they total, all that totals $18,150. It's in the budget, but by state code, this council has to approve it. We have to have a hearing.
So moved.
No, I apologize. We don't have to have the hearing because we changed our charter, our code. But we're voting on it tonight. Mr. Miller has moved to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Jones is second. Any further discussion? It's over 10,000. We'll have a roll call vote starting with Ms. Scott.
Aye.
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 Abstain on the fire department.
Motion carries 5-0 with one abstention. Fire call reimbursements. This is basically what used to be called the clothing allowance. What, they get $8 per call if you're a volunteer fireman?
It's equaled out. They get a certain amount and then it
I don't
just
think it's
divides
$8 per
out.
call, though. I think it's.
It depends on the number of calls per year, that's right. So this totals $28,806. It's in the budget. And this is something the council does annually this time of year. And it's, depending on how many calls a firefighter goes on, they may, get more than their colleague or whatever, or less,
More of an incentive to run more.
to run more calls. Every now and then on the radio, you might hear them say, "Put my name on the book." I was on the way.
So
What-
our staffed fire department, or if we were to have a staffed fire department, it would cost millions. It
Oh.
costs 28,000.
It'd be ridiculous. What is your pleasure, members of
There's
council?
millions in equipment.
So moved.
Motion been made. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll give the second to Mr. Allman. We'll have a.
You got one.
You got one, don't worry. Roll call vote, starting with Ms. Scott.
Aye.
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 Abstain.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0, one abstention. Under committee referrals, I had a nice email, and I see Mr. Justin Roger Burns in the audience with us. Justin's a local volunteer, and he is already talking about, as we should all be talking about, the 250th anniversary of our country, which is in 2026. And there's a group called Virginia 250, and Nottaway County is going to have a committee headed by their group is going to be the Nottaway Historical Society or Association. And I was thinking about, I would like for Mr. Burns to serve along with maybe a cross-section of DBI, a member or two of council, and the Chamber of Commerce. I'm not fully aware of what opportunities there may be, but we've got time to plan and try to capitalize on tourism. We got a 18th century building and a carriage museum that are naturals. So that, I would like to nominate to that committee Mr. Justin Burns, who really kind of whet my appetite on this. I'd like to have a member of council volunteer to serve on this, to be a liaison. Mr. Allman, be willing to do that? And I'd ask DBI, I know he's gone, and Chamber, we can notify the Chamber and DBI, we'd like to have them involved. I'm sorry?
Chris is on the board for the chamber.
I'm sorry, Chris, I didn't see you because of Jennifer, I'm sorry. I know you still.
You couldn't see.
I could, the angle. And then we have another, committee request for auditing services bids. That would be fine. I'd refer that to finance. You're gonna see bids on the audit.
If you could add to that, maybe we're going to start doing some things. I think Jennifer wants to kind of find more releases and things, especially with the airport.
Mhm.
Rec association, things like that. I think she's pressing for some of those kinds of things. If we could put some of that on the finance committee as well,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
So referred.
She'd send me an email asking me to do that.
Okay. Under the under the mayor's minute, I really believe I have nothing to say other than the fact I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. And again, congratulations to Ben and Chris and everybody that won re-election, and for those of us that are departing, we'll still be around, keep in touch. Police report, I think our chief left as well. This is a second opportunity, if you'd like to address council, this is your opportunity. See Mr. Michael Bagley again.
Some couple years ago, I am having terrible radio reception. Some years ago, I thought that we said that we were gonna locate in strategic areas of the town, we were gonna try to bring the airwave closer to the
You
ground.
talking about cell phone?
Well, cell phone too, I used to have a problem with that too. But, I think we were talking about when we had some company that we talked about that they didn't pan out.
They were gonna put, I remember it was right next to Leroy Bradshaw's building. They were gonna put a satellite, and it wasn't to bring anything, it was only to
With
help.
radio.
Yeah, it was only to help, like, where you're blocked downtown Blackstone and by other buildings. It was more Wi-Fi cell phone, I
That's
believe.
correct. And then we had a guy that was gonna do something on our water tower that to this day just sends me mean messages about how he, oh yeah, I can't remember his name. But when you intrigued Mr. Bagley, hold on, I wanna make sure
Over the years.
you said radio though, radio reception.
Over the years, I have a Sandstorm 6500. I used to, in my living room, I used to go pick up North Carolina. Okay? I can't pick that up now.
I think your issue is that they've increased their wattage out here enough to where it pretty much makes it difficult to get any other radio frequency.
You talking about the Bobcat?
Can
Yeah,
you
the
pick up
100,000.
pictures?
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, but I do know that, I do wanna ask this question though. I know that the water tower on Church Street, and I should know this, are there Verizon
Yes.
devices up there that's supposed to give us like 5Gs in Blackstone?
I don't know if it's 5G, but yes, there are Verizon antennas
Okay.
on the tower. I can't quote you on
Did they put the meters in yet?
exactly what it is. Pardon?
Are those hot yet?
As far as I know, there are.
I remember for a while they were there, but I didn't see any
There are
meters
also
in there.
some cell phone antennas on the water tank
Okay.
on Northwest Avenue, and I think there's also some over at Pickett.
But the only thing I tell you, Mr. Bagley, that what you're describing might be something for the FCC to look into, because what Mr. Nash said is right. If the local radio station has increased its wattage, they did that a while ago. But there are 100,000 watts here on Route 40, the Bobcat. And that could impact your. I know if I'm listening to another station, I ride by there, it'll bleed right through my car. But
Well, I know what he's talking about, is traveling down through downtown. I can have a radio station out at Cox Road, but then I hit downtown and it's gone.
But that's FM radio signal, and you're dealing with buildings and that sort of thing. That's going to be the same anywhere, I would imagine.
You don't have it in big towns, you don't have it in big cities.
But that's probably because the radio station you listen to is in the big city.
Exactly, yeah. About,
96 South makes it to the drive-through, and then
Well, I can refer that. I don't know what to tell you. I just wish I had there's no committee that can handle that. I would tell you to write the FCC. It could be a Blackstone building thing. I don't know. Anyone else? Justin, you are willing to serve, are you not? Man, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, at this time, do we have a closed session? All right, what are the motions that need to be made? Thank you all for coming tonight. So this one went a little long, and I apologize.
We have, for prospective business or industry town square, we have personnel administration, and we have acquisition of real property.
Do we need anybody in the audience to stay with us?
We did.
I thought I recognized that individual.
And do you want me to read all of those, or?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we're gonna do personnel, okay, so. A motion to go into closed session for discussion, consideration, or interviews of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, discipline, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body. Prospective business. Discussion concerning a prospective business or industry, or the expansion of an existing business or industry where no previous announcement has been made of the business or industry's interest in locating and expanding its facilities in the community. And discussion or consideration of the acquisition of real property for public purpose, or the discussion of publicly held real property where discussion in open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body.
Who would like to make that motion?
So moved.
Mr. Nash has moved. I'll give Mr. Allman the second to go into closed session. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are in closed session.